guys, today I'm going to talk about the tattoos that I had and what kind of things I would change if I had my tattoo for the first time, or the journey that I had in here, so that you can also, get some ideas if you never had any tattoo and if you're thinking about it, or if you already have tattoos, we can have like kind of a similar chit chat with you, and you can also share your moments while you were having your tattoos with yourself. So it's gonna be also like a coffee moment because I'm gonna drink my coffee. I didn't have any breakfast already. I'm just starting my day with my coffee, but after drinking my water, promise. So let's get into it. My first tattoo is actually on my neck and it says freedom. Okay, this is the tattoo that when I was like 20 years old, I think, in my university, like in the second year of the university, and I had this tattoo with my sister. Like my sister and I had the appointment from a tattoo designer and we went together there to have our first tattoos. I heard about that designer from my relative, and she had like a lot of tattoos already and they were looking good. They were looking okay. So I was like, okay, I want to have tattoo as well. And my sister also had the idea and we got an appointment. But the funny thing is, actually, I didn't know what to have as tattoo. All I wanted was to have a tattoo because I think it was looking cool and it will look good on me. Whatever I design, whatever I decide to have, I think it was gonna look super cool. So I was like, now I have my appointment. So what I will have and where I will have it. Actually, I was thinking about my neck area already, but I didn't know what to have. So I don't know why, but I couldn't decide, or I just didn't know what to have until the appointment day. So I would leave my house with my sister. Like a few hours later, I would have a tattoo, but I didn't have any idea about it. So my first tattoo was the last moment idea, and it's a very simple idea. It says freedom in English.
So I didn't think about it too much, as you might see.
But I like the story here. When I first searched about the tattoos, I was like, okay, what should I have here? I think I can write down a word, a nice word that will, represent me, or that I like. It could be a simple thing, so it's gonna be a small thing, and it's gonna be a nice word that I always want to have, or hear, or I like, and I love. So I was looking for the freedom as a word because I was liking to be free. I was in my first years at the university, which I was feeling like more free than ever because I could do whatever I want to do, and I was discovering a lot of new things while at the college, new friends and everything, and I like to be like free at that moment. And so I was like, okay, maybe freedom could be a good option, and I searched on Google Images like freedom tattoos, and there is a very classic tattoo of freedom where at the end of the word M letter there is a bird on top of it, like M, you would think about the M, and the top of the M is looking like a bird if you cut it from there, and it's going away. So it's very, very classic tattoo of freedom that I searched. Like there were a lot of examples of it, but it was like mostly like horizontal. Like people were having this tattoo like horizontal. It's written like freedom. The M is a little bit different because the top of the M is a bird and flying away. So it shows like a freedom, like flying as a bird to go anywhere they want. So I was like, okay, maybe I can have this tattoo, but this is a very classic, very cliche tattoo, so maybe I can change it a bit. And I decided to do it a vertical tattoo, like from up to down. Because when you search about this tattoo, like when you search about any freedom tattoo, you will see this a lot. And you will see it like mostly horizontal. So I just wanted to make a very small change, and I wanted to have this like a vertical when I was at that age, like 5-6 years ago. So I also kind of set my age anyway. So I decided to do it because it was like last moment. I had a lot of ideas coming up and going. I wanted to have this appointment, and I didn't want to cancel it. And it's gonna be a small tattoo already, so
It's not gonna hurt me in a way.
and I like the freedom, like as a word, as a meaning, and I was like totally okay with that. So we went to the appointment to have this tattoo. When people saw my tattoo, they were like really interested in, oh, what is it written there? What? It says freedom already. Like, why you were asking me? The funny story is actually when people saw my tattoo for the first time, they have no idea what's written there. They know the word in English, like freedom, but they cannot read it because people are generally looking at it like that, like trying to read it from like bottom to up somehow. And I'm like, no, you need to read it from top to bottom, one by one. I don't know why most of the people are trying to read it like that. And even though when they are trying to look from top to bottom, they are like really focusing it to understand what is written in there because it's very hard to understand it. I'm like, it says freedom. Oh, which language? Okay, it's in English. Very classic. And they were like, oh, okay. You know, like it's very classic, very cliche. So I think they're just losing their interest a little bit because it's a very simple word. But in the beginning, I really enjoy while they are trying to understand the word, what is written in there and which language is that. Actually, they were suggesting some languages. It looks like Hebrew. It looks like a Hebrew. I don't know how it's written actually. So I was like, okay, that's cool because, you know, it looks a different language, a different letters. So it was fun to hear them. Some people really told me like different languages, just I couldn't remember because they were like really different languages that I have no idea. So I just remember like they told me like Hebrew as an example. So it was fun, you know, it's a good conversation start with a person. So I like that part of my tattoo journey. People also ask me like, did it hurt too much, you know? And I was like, no. That's the weird part. Like people are really afraid because it's gonna hurt too much. Especially if it's your neck, like it will hurt too much. They're imagining it like that. But I had no idea if it would hurt when I went to the appointment for the first time. So I was psychologically okay with that and secure with that. Like, I don't know if it's gonna hurt. Like, I had no idea if it's gonna hurt or not. I didn't even think about it when I went to the appointment. So that's why maybe it didn't hurt that much because I was already like not thinking about it. Of course, there was some like a needle stick sometimes. I think it was also blooding a little bit. But it didn't hurt too much. Like I was just totally okay. But on my second tattoo, after like 5-6 years, I was afraid of it because my friends, I went there with my friend and she was also really afraid of this, if it's gonna hurt or not. So psychologically, I started to think like if it's gonna hurt. So don't bother yourself if it's gonna hurt or not because it's not gonna kill you in a way. Like I don't know, it's not gonna hurt that much. It's just like small bites coming from the needle. I had 2 different experiences. The first one was like, I had no moment where I was scared or afraid. But in the second tattoo appointment, like after 5 years later, I got the idea of being afraid, you know, if it's gonna hurt. So
It hurt.
in the second one, but I was also okay, like, okay, it's not that hurts, you know, it's all about the psychology as well. I had this tattoo like it's like a kind of a like dark blue. That was the main color for them, so I didn't choose any color. I wanted to be black, like kind of like the original tattoo color would be black, but it was kind of like a dark blue, and I'm also okay with that. So this is the first journey. Let's take a break and drink our coffee. I will talk about what kind of mistakes I think I did or I would change if I would have a chance to change it. It's gonna be like, this tattoo is actually very thick for me. I think it could be much more thinner so that it will look more sophisticated, but I still love it because there's only one tattoo around my neck or my face or my back, you know, my shoulder, this area fully. I only have this tattoo, so it is okay. That's why I'm not like bothering to change it or anything. But I would have like thinner tattoo if possible. That was the only thing that I would change. Other than that, I love my first tattoo, the place of it. My second tattoo is actually a dancer, a very thin line dancer figure, and it is in red. I had this like last summer, so I was like almost 26, but I was like 25 to 26. And my friend told me like she wants to have tattoos and she never had tattoo. So she had already ideas. And I was like, oh, maybe I can have this tattoo as well because, you know, I like to have tattoos. Maybe not all around my body, but small ones. And when I wear something, when you see from outside a little bit part of it, it looks so cool. I don't know, I just find it so cool. So I was like, maybe I can have the second tattoo right now because it's been years, you know? I was like starting for it and I still didn't have any idea. Maybe I was thinking to have a dancer or a word, but I was thinking this time an image. Like, you know, my first tattoo is already a word. So my second tattoo could be a nice figure. But I don't want it to be very big or very complicated. I wanted it very simple. So it was kind of a line figure, I was thinking. So what it could be, I was searching for it like a few days before my appointment again. I don't know why, but I think inspiration comes all of a sudden. So even though if you think for a month, for 2 months, for a year, it's not gonna come out. So that's why maybe I was just having these moments very sudden or very close to my appointment. I was searching on Pinterest this time. I think Pinterest might have good options for you to get inspired. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna search for a dancer because, you know, I love dancing and I started to dance frequently, like in the beginning of my university life, and it was a very, very important moment for me where I had a lot of friends, a lot of fun, a lot of different experiences. I attended to shows with my dance crew or sometimes the main dancer, and I also like went to the competitions. I had a medal from a competition, so it was a very, very important moment where I was feeling like very feminine, very beautiful, confident. My body shape was getting used to it, and it's a very great moment for me. So I was doing Latin dance sport, so it's international Latin. I was also doing social Latin, but mostly focusing on the international one, like cha-cha, jive, samba, rumba, you know, this kind of dances, if you're interested. That's why I was like, okay, maybe a dance figure could be cool. So I searched first like the Latin dancers figures where you can, you know, see that figure, you can understand it like, okay, this figure is about Latin dance sport. But it was a little bit complicated, and you know, you generally dance with your partner. You can do it solo as well, but generally it's with a dance partner. I enjoy it more like that. So I was looking at the figures and they were like a little bit more complicated. I also saw like a dance shoe figure where you can have a just, you know, dance shoe figure. That's it. But I didn't want it, you know, and then I decided to show my love for dance. It doesn't have to be Latin dance. Actually, I got a medal from modern dance. That's a funny story because in the show crew, I was in the part of the modern dance where we were trying to show the violence against the women. So we were making in the second crew as modern dance, another crew as Latin dance, and all together hip hop. So it was a mix of all dances. So that's why I was also like feeling cool and okay with the modern dance as well. And I was just searching for some figures. The figures are nicer when they look more like a modern dance or ballet, you know. They were looking more sophisticated when I searched about it, and I decided to have one figure there. It was very simple, like only lines. It was like also dancing. It's kind of like a modern dance, a little bit ballet. I'm not a big fan of ballet, but it looks cool. And it looks also like a modern dance girl. And it doesn't have to be a girl figure from any dance. It's about love to dance. I decided that figure the last night of my appointment, before my appointment. So I decided that. And I was thinking about the color. If I want to have this black, or if I want to have any color with it. And then I decided to have this red because it might look cool. I would have a little bit big, but it's gonna be like very thin line figure, so it's not gonna really pump up, you know, it's gonna be still look soft. And then I had the tattoo, so psychologically I was a little bit afraid, and I was also like giggling a little bit, like, okay, because that area is a little bit weird area, you know, it hurts more than I think on my neck, as I remember. But I told you, like, psychologically I was ready to get afraid of it. So that's why maybe it hurt more than I had the first tattoo. Even though when you're giggling it's not good, because when I laugh or when I feel a little bit weird on my stomach area, like my stomach is gonna, you know, wave, like it's gonna get moved, and it's not good for a tattoo artist. You need to be stable, you know, to have a good tattoo. So it was like a little bit hard moment for the tattoo artist as well. There's also a funny story about this tattoo, is that when people saw the tattoo, but not the full of it, just like half of it. When I wear a crop, for example, you can't see the full of it. You just see the bottom part of it, and it doesn't mean anything when you see just the bottom part of it. And one time, actually it happened like 2 times. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. It's funny. One time my dance teacher, my dance coach from the class told me like, oh, did you get hurt? You know, are they like scar? You know, what happened? Like, are you okay? Are they scarred? And I was like, no, it's a tattoo. So since it's a red line and you don't see the whole figure, it looks weird when I wear crop. And that's why they were thinking like it's a scar, you know, since it's a red thing. So I was like, no, it's a tattoo. So that was kind of embarrassing, but it was also funny. And the second one is from my friend's mother. When she saw the first time my tattoo, she was like, oh, it looks like a birthmark. And I'm like, okay, it's not a really good compliment for me, because it says like, it doesn't look cool, but it is like a birthmark. That is looking good. So I don't want to have that idea. But anyway, I had also like really nice comments about it. Like when they saw me full with my bikini, my friends told me like, oh, it's a very nice figure, because they were also from dance crew and they were understanding it's a dancer there and very sophisticated. Well, maybe I have a very specific group, a target that will find it very cool and very nice when they saw it fully. But yeah, so I have different comments, but I like to have like different comments about my tattoos when I surprise them, you know, when they didn't think about it and then they saw it, they just, you know, click in another way around. So I like that. When a person has tattoos, people generally think like it's kind of an addiction. So when one person starts to have a tattoo, they will have tattoo all around again and again, because it's kind of an addiction. Yeah, maybe it could be for most of the people, but not for me, because I don't know, I don't find it as addiction, because I'm doing it because I like it, I like the idea, and I'm okay to see it again and again. But I am doing this kind of tattoos on my body parts that I don't see it all the time, so it might affect as well. So I'm not looking at my neck all the time. Of course I'm seeing it sometimes, but when I look straight, I don't see it so much. Or my waist, you know, I don't see that too much. So it is like something that I don't see too much, but when I see it, I feel good. So, but I'm not addicted to it, because I do it whenever I want to do it. And I did my first tattoo, and after like 5, 6 maybe years later, I did my second tattoo. So it's not like an addiction to me, actually. It's like, it's not something that you're bored and you did it. For me, maybe for some people, but for me it's like it should be specific. Like it should be the moment when I'm ready, like, okay, I want a tattoo in my this body part because I think it's gonna go like fine and cool. So it doesn't have to be an addiction for you, but it could be an addiction too. Like you can have all around your body all these tattoos if you like it that way. I hope my tips or my memories somehow give you idea about how this tattoo journey would be, and you also get to know me a little bit more. And I think it's important, if you're having a channel on YouTube, it's good to have a conversation to get to know each other. And I would like to hear your stories as well on the comment section, so we can have like a small chit chat and share our tips and memories together for guidance for people who didn't have any tattoo experience. Thank you for watching my video. See you in my next video then. Kissing you. Ciao.